Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, as we have a true international audience here with participants today from all over the globe. I'd like to thank each one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to participate in this webinar today. And I hope that everyone has been safe and healthy during these unprecedented times. I hope to discuss and hopefully demonstrating this new product once we get back to our normal operations and travel is once again permitted. Brief introduction of myself. I'm Dan Fry, and I've been in photopolymer plate business since 1982, starting my career with Hercules, selling the MacDermid or Amerigraph liquid photopolymer line. After that business was purchased by MacDermid in 1995, I've held numerous sales and technical management roles and currently hold the position of portfolio manager for our corrugated product line, which includes all of our sheet and liquid printing plate materials used in the corporate marketplace. I will be joined today by Lee Caldwell, our marketing manager, who you will hear occasionally to keep call and keep me on track, and we'll be queuing up some of the questions at the end of the presentation. I'll ask that you use the chat line during my presentation for any that you have and you would like to ask, and we'll have plenty of time to address them at the end of the presentation. During this presentation, we're going to ask a couple of pop-up survey questions that will allow us to possibly modify the content slightly depending on those responses, and it'll gauge some future product development needs for us to help in future endeavors. There is also a link that you should see on your screen that allows you to download the technical documents of the products that I will be covering and highlighting in today's webinar. This webinar will be recorded for future use and training purposes. So I'd like to start by showing a short video clip to help kick it off. All right, as I first stated, I'm here to introduce LUX ITP EDGE. Here we go. Really, for some reason, I don't have control. Here we go. All right, we are, and needless to say, MacDermid Graphics Solutions. And we are one of the world's respected innovators of photopolymer plate products for the printing industry. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, there'll be a couple of quick online polls, and here's the first one. So we'll take about 30 seconds to allow you to go ahead and fill it in.
Okay, so we have about a little over 50% of everyone on the call has voted or entered their poll. We have about 34% working on round top dot mostly, and 66% of those on the call are using flat top dot technology.
Thank you, Lee. All right, many of you may or may not know that MacDermid pioneered the world's first flat top dot technology. It's hard to believe that it's been 10 years, but in 2010, MacDermid introduced LUX technology, an award-winning flat top dot solution that shifted the flexo paradigm and elevated the quality of flexo. MacDermid later leveraged its expertise in flat top dots to develop LUX in the plate, or ITP, an out-of-the-box flat top dot solution that required no extra steps or equipment. In 2015, MacDermid took its expertise in dot engineering even further to develop a plate technology with dots specifically optimized for corrugated. This plate is DMAF. Then in 2017, MacDermid introduced LUX ITP Mellow, a game-changing super soft flat top dot plate for lower basis weight boards. Okay, here's another one of our polls. So if we take a few seconds to fill it in, I would appreciate it.
Okay, so we have about 41% on the call have voted. About 64% use 50% more or if their jobs are on recycled board. Then 30%, that makes 36% is less than 50% is on recycled board. And then we did have a question come in asking yet, which probably means they think they'll be moving to recycled board.
Thank you, Lee. All right, now MacDermid expands its out-of-the-box flat top dot solutions by designing a plate to change the standard of post-print corrugated. Introducing LUX ITP EDGE. LUX ITP EDGE is an inherent flat top dot plate for high quality, clean printing on post-print corrugated board. And here's our final poll.
Okay, the final poll should be up. Okay, with just about 50% of the votes in, 50 or 48% yes, they do high-end graphics, 100 LPI or higher, and about 52% are not doing that, a little bit lower than that.
All right, thank you, Lee, and thank you everyone for your participation in these quick polls. So LUX ITP EDGE brings high imaging, as I mentioned, up to 150 line capabilities. And this has allowed our customers to target the litho label market and enable conversion to post-print corrugated. It includes patented clean plate technology for long clean runs between press stops and press wash-ups and shortens overall production times. This imaging package allows for nearly a one-to-one mask to plate reproduction with a minimal bump required depending upon line screen, and is typically not required on anything up to 120 LPI. This flat top dot structure allows for reduced fluting for high quality printing. And here are the reproduction capabilities of this new plate. For thin plate applications, which is designated as 112 to 155 thousandths or 3 to 4 millimeters, it is capable of holding a 1 to 99% range up to 150 or 150 lines and able to hold a fine line down to 0.002 or 0.05 millimeters. For what we decided to call thick plate applications, that is 170 to 250 thousandths, or 4 to 6 millimeter plates. It's capable of holding a 2 to 97% screen range, up to 120 lines, and able to hold fine line reproduction to 3 thousandths of an inch, or 0.08 millimeters wide. Additional technical details. This plate is designed at a 32 Shore durometer, and that is an ASTM reading. And as you go thinner, the plate durometer naturally goes slightly higher as you begin to pick up the PET backing. But this plate will range from 32 to 38 durometer, depending upon the gauge of choice. It's a quick imaging plate, and it's got great washout throughput, does not require extended finishing times. Of course, these are just recommendations, and as you move into using this plate, our technical resource team is available to help set each one of these plate gauges up with you and provide any assistance that you may have to be able to make sure that you're as successful as we want you to be. However, I'm sure looking at technical bulletins and briefs, seeing is believing. So here are a couple of print samples to show you the capabilities of this plate. These printed pieces show excellent imaging, print reproduction, solids coverage, and fluting reduction, ranging in 120 up to 150 line screen. As you can see, there's very good detail and reproduction in there. The reflections in the bumpers and the chrome wheels are incredible. The proof is in the lobster. This particular job was always done with an offset litho label. LUX ITP EDGE enabled them to move to flexo post print. And here's a comparative of the proof overlaying right next to the direct print that was finally printed when they moved this job across. It is truly a plate for packaging. This particular paper plate job, again, was always done litho label offset. They decided to go ahead and try to run it in flexo post print at 150 LPI. And as you can see, laying the offset label, the direct print, and the proof together in the same package, it shows excellent reproduction. So the question is, are you ready to play outside the box and get amazing results with excellent highlights and highline screens? Embrace cleaner print. Our packaging clean plate technology helps reduce ink buildup, which improves plate life and cuts down on the number of press stops during a run. So break through the clutter and achieve the print consistency and quality that every brand expects. Move to the edge. But wait, before we go ahead and end this presentation, I wanted to take a few minutes to compare our two newest corrugated post-print products of features and benefits. The first of which, as I mentioned, was the LUX ITP Mellow plate that was introduced in 2017, and we'll compare it against the attributes of the new LUX ITP EDGE plate that was just introduced. So LUX ITP Mellow, again, flat top directly in the plate. It is a super soft 25 Shore durometer and gives you the lowest possible fluting with a super soft plate, allowing for minimal board crush, excellent ink transfer, reduced dot gain, faster press speeds. This particular plate is recommended for all corrugated applications, but is especially designed for the low basis weight recycled board applications. Comparing it to the new EDGE plate, EDGE again is flat top directly in the plate. It is designed for incredibly high line screen and imaging capabilities, 1% at 150 lines. It includes our patented clean plate technology. The imaging and the flat top dots allow for reduced fluting. Again, a near one-to-one mass reproduction, depending upon line screens. Exceptional consistency in print, and is recommended for all applications in post-print corrugated. LUX ITP EDGE. So I want to thank you for allowing us to take a few minutes out of your busy day to introduce this new plate for post-print corrugated. We're going to go ahead and take a few of the questions that you may have submitted while watching this presentation. Thank you once again.
Okay, so let me go through some of these questions. Let me expand this. All right. Okay, so we have a question here. As a trade shop, can you elaborate more on the clean plate technology and how I might be able to see that, or to see that with my customers, or to show that to my customers?
Sure, it's a very good question. Clean plate technology was actually introduced and designed into our flexible packaging product lines. The flexible packaging product lines typically run millions of linear feet on certain jobs, and press stops became a bit of a cumbersome issue to have to stop and clean. So the clean plate technology that we've introduced and patented into the plate allows the plate to transfer ink exceptionally well, but it doesn't allow the ink to stick to the sides of the plate, which typically causes buildup around print structures and therefore requires press wash-ups. Based upon a couple of years of running this technology and proving it out in the flexible packaging industry, we decided to introduce it into the LUX ITP EDGE. And what your direct print customers should see are much longer runs without having to stop to do plate wash-ups during a corrugated run.
Okay, great. So you might have answered this. Does clean plate make it easier to clean the plate after a press run as well?
Yes, it does. Because again, the ink is not staining the plate or adhering to the sides of the plate. It will wash up much quicker and much easier.
Okay. How about UV LED exposure? Is this a qualified plate for that, or is that in the works?
Good question. It is currently in the works. We are working on getting the XPS certifications currently for the 112 and the 125 plates, which we feel will be most applicable to the use of the UV LEDs. Of course, the COVID-19 situation has obviously slowed down a lot of development efforts because we can't get on press to be able to prove it. But we do have a lot of the pre-work done in our labs, and we're ready to go just as soon as we can get clearances to start visiting customers for print, and also some of the university sites to be able to get press time.
Okay, yeah, we had a couple questions about that, so that should cover that. A couple questions about the status of DMAF. We have some DMAF users on the phone. Is this going to replace that, or are we removing DMAF from the portfolio, or will that remain?
Currently, DMF is it's remaining in the portfolio. However, from what we have seen on early press trials and introductions with the LUX ITP EDGE, it is a far superior plate that sits in the same portfolio position. So I believe longer term we have plans to discontinue the DMAF, but it won't be until we have an obvious opportunity to qualify the EDGE plate at the particular customer sites. And gain confidence with our customers that this is the right move to do.
One of the questions relates to analox rolls. Are there any recommendations for analox rolls kind of to help improve the print and get the best LPI?
With the newer presses that are coming out and some of the new advancements in flat top dot technology, analox rolls have been getting much finer and finer. We're seeing some incredibly high analox roll counts in some of the post-print applications that we have tested on, and still trying to gain significant information with regards to the different versions of analoxes are out there to see if there is one that would give us utmost optimum performance. But right now we don't have that data.
Okay. One question, is this plate ready for test in Europe?
Yes, it is. Our European offices do have material on site, so contact your local MacDermid representative to set that up.
What resolution are most users of this edge plate producing with the plates at 2540, 4000, 5080?
2540 is the standard because of post print and the use of that. However, the imaging capabilities of this new plate has allowed them to start testing at 4000 res. My personal belief is that we will probably stay at the 2540 for the majority of the lower line screen works for the productivity savings as far as time goes and the throughput. However, getting into the 150 and going after litho label, we may need to go to the 4000 resolution to accomplish that.
All right. Again, edge plate, is it recommended to expose with UV light like the XPS or regular bank light? As Dan stated, right now we are working on qualification on a UV LED, but it's not quite there. But hopefully shortly after everything opens back up, we'll have that ready to go.
Yep, and one clarification, Lee, the LUX ITP EDGE is designed for flat top technology on UV backlights. So again, you don't need to require any special applications or additional uses to get the utmost resolution out of a flat top product using the edge plate.
Do these benefits apply also printing in non-woven material?
We haven't tested in non-woven, but we would imagine and we believe to be a good result on this because of the soft nature of this particular printing plate. We hope to be able to test that again as soon as business opens back up again.
Okay. How about, I'd like to know about durability. How many times can I use the same plates?
Difficult, question to put an actual number on, if you will. It all depends upon the care taken during the press run. Obviously, if a press crew is running with extremely high analogs or board impression, you're going to risk damaging the plate. But this plate is designed to run extremely long, and we hope to be proving that with some very long Home Depot or Lowe's boxes, Amazon type things in the very near future.
Okay, can you kind of go over the availability and plate sizes that we offer?
Yes, so plate sizes are the standards with regards to your typical gauges: 112, 125, 155, 170, 185, I believe 217, 235, and 250. 3547 and a half, 4260, plan for 4280, 5065, and 5080 in size. And of course, if there is a specific need for another particular size, we'd be happy to discuss setting that particular size up with you if the volume's warranted.
Any plans to introduce this plate with a surface structure for better ink transfer? I'm sure they're referring to our Epic surface structure.
Yes, actually no plans to do anything with regards to a cap structure, if you will, or a surface engineered surface on this one. However, we are looking into the advanced screening capabilities that the prepress manufacturers have out there to see if this particular plate offers any opportunity to utilize some of the advanced screening concepts to help that area. This does transfer ink very well too.
All right, here's a question. Does the edge plate allow us to use high screen rulings using the same analogs rules?
I'm not sure that the plate itself will allow you to move up in plate screening based upon an analogs configuration that you have. It would definitely be worth a test. The clean plate technology may help advance up a line screen ruling or so because you're not building and filling in the plate. However, I think you need to optimize your analogs for the individual line screen that you're printing so that you have the appropriate amount of cells to ink up the individual dots.
Are these plates tested on a Crone imaging device?
I don't believe we have imaged with Crone yet. I'll have to check that. So if someone wants to send me an email, I can get back to them with an answer. My email address is dan.fry@mcdermid.com, and I'd be happy to get that information back to you.
And from these questions, we will follow up with some frequently asked questions as well to everyone who attended this webinar, so we can add in Dan's contact information as well. If we make comparison with the exposure times of DMAF and EDGE, can you say that EDGE is less than half of that?
That's a good question. It depends on the imaging device and the source and the condition of the bulbs. Again, another one on that, if you could email me, I can give you the individual exposures based upon some testing that we've done in-house. I don't have that in front of me at this point.
Okay, we do have someone here who is an EDGE user, and they have actually applied some settings that they've used on XPS with DMAF, and they're going to go to press next week. So we are very interested in those results, and we will continue to follow up with everyone on this call and, of course, on social media as we proceed with UV LED exposure on EDGE with the best recommended processing conditions. Okay, so is it recommended to use EDGE or mellow plates to use along with R bags during printing?
Our bag is typically a press buildup, and many presses will choose, or press operators will choose to use a R-back built-up plate when they want to reduce the overall plate thickness on a particular undercut of a printing press. We've gotten very good results with both mellow and EDGE using an R-back backing for plate buildup. So I don't think there's any concerns. I don't think you're seeing any huge quality improvements other than what you normally would get by going from a thicker gauge down to the thinner gauge. And you potentially could pick up some imaging benefits by moving from a 170 or a 250 plate down to a 155 and building it up with the R-back material. That goes for both EDGE or mellow.
Great. We're coming to the last few questions. Is a shallower relief required to hold the minimum dots?
No, actually, the dot structure that we have in the imaging package that's here does not require us to shallow up the relief, if you will. So it runs typically with the normal reliefs that you would expect on a corrugated flexo printing plate.
Great. One thing pointed out here, obviously we didn't really call it out in the presentation, but this plate is designed for solvent processing. Do we have any options for thermal?
At this point, we do not. However, our R&D group is constantly looking at opportunities for advancement in the future. And it is something that we were looking at and will be continuing to look at, the potential for lava, our thermal process, to be used in the corrugated thin market.
One question, can we say it will reduce the ink consumption to printers?
That is something that we are attempting to get some data. At this point, we have not run long enough at particular press sites to be able to justify and see if in fact that is a case. However, the clean plate technology has demonstrated in flexible packaging the ability to reduce slightly ink consumption from not having to do the press startups and washups. So this is something that we're very interested in, excited to potentially look down the road for corrugated product application.
All right, last question that we currently have in. Would you go with EDGE over DMVP? I think that might be DMAF, or mellow for printing paper bags. Some sizes they have here are 10 kilogram, 25 kilogram, or 50 kilogram sizes.
Yeah, typically the paper bag application, you're not dealing with fluting, so you don't have to worry about trying to fill the voids up. I would personally choose the LUX ITP EDGE plate. It has a better imaging capability than does the mellow plate, although the mellow plate does have an outstanding imaging package put into it. I believe that the 32 durometer of the EDGE plate and the graphics that's typically exhibited for paper bags would be a better fit.
Great. That's the last question that we have. If any come in after this, we will follow up individually based on who sent that question in. And we will also be following up with an email of everyone's, contact information so you guys can continue sending in questions and hopefully, contacting your local MacDermid reps to get this tested for future use. Dan, anything else to add?
No, at this point, again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their busy day, and please stay safe. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you soon.
And just let everyone know, as we end this webinar, you will see a very, very short survey letting us know how we did with this. And then, of course, any suggestions for future webinars. Obviously, we're all dealing with the COVID-19 situation, so we will be doing more and more webinars, but we will also keep doing this well beyond the current issues. And then there are also a couple handouts to download. So you can download both the LUX ITP EDGE brochure, which has our recommended processing conditions and some more technical information. Plus, we included the LUX ITP Mellow, which we address shortly, so you can have a comparison there. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this and have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening.
Thank you, Lee. Goodbye, everyone.